All right, so I'm here with Amanda. Amanda, how old are you?
32.
32.
Yeah.
Are you originally from Arizona?
Yes.
What part of AZ?
Phoenix.
And what's your current situation right now?
I'm currently homeless, so I'm trying to get on my feet, but having some little life issues going on right now. Um, kind of dealing with emotionally and mentally, like depression, stuff like that. That has a big toll on my life right now. It's really making it so where it's preventing me from pushing forward in my life. So.
How long have you been homeless out here in the streets?
On and off since I've been 14.
Since you've been 14?
Yeah.
How do you end up homeless at 14?
Well, I was dealing with a lot of family abuse from my dad. He was always hitting me. I started drinking. Started getting on the party line back in the day, and I was meeting older men on the party line, and they would come out, and we'd get drunk, and we'd exchange sex. You know, at 14, these guys were 21, 25, 30, you know, and then I got introduced, and then I just started taking off, you know, running away, and just so forth. Yeah, I've been locked up in and out of jail since I've been 8 years old.
Since 8 years old?
I've been booked over like 32 times from misdemeanors, most of it.
So you started going to juvenile hall when you were 8 years old?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, at 8 years old, from 3 to 9, my parents had lost custody of me and my two sisters. My brother got back with them a year later, but they weren't able to gain custody of me and my sisters. So from 3 to 8, I was going from group home to group home, and I was really small at that age, and I would get picked on by a lot of the older girls there. So I was always fighting, you know, and I caught my first domestic violence charge at 8, and criminal damage charge for throwing a rock through the group home window. So I think that's where it really started. The violence in my life started coming out at, and just took, and so, you know what I mean? Just went on and on and on after that.
So you got took from your home when you were 8 years old?
For 3.
At 3 years old?
Yeah, until I was 8, yeah.
Until you were 8. What were you like in group home?
Group homes, orphanages, yeah. A lot of them. It's a pretty horrible feeling when you're a little kid and you just keep going from home to home to home, and you don't understand why the people that wanted to be your parents keep giving you back. And like I said, I was a child that you couldn't control. Chronic temper tantrums, you know, a lot of violence in my life. Like I didn't.
What was the reason?
I was young, so I don't. Oh, they were my parents. They were alcoholics. My dad was an alcoholic.
Is that the reason why you got took from your home in the first place?
No, the reason was my dad went to prison because he was an alcoholic and he caught his second DUI, so he went to prison for 3.5. My mother, a single mom at this time, had 2 sets of twins. It would be me and my sisters and my brother, who's my twin. She was taking care of us, and one of her friends set her up at a laundromat, and she left us there with her friend at a laundromat just to get a ride home by allegedly one of her friends. Well, she never made it to the house because the gentleman that was giving my mother the ride was trying to rape my mom. So my mom took a risk, and she jerked the vehicle when they were on the freeway, and they flipped. She wound up being in a coma for 30 days and became handicapped with a metal plate in her back. So she was supposedly never supposed to walk again, but by God's grace, she shifted, and somehow she has like a limp, you know, but she's a survivor. Mentally, she's not all the way there, but, you know, she has a speech impairment and stuff, but she tried. Like, when she got out of the hospital, she was trying to take care of us, but she just couldn't do it by herself. It was, you know, it was like the landlord was on her ass. We kept babies. Like, she would fall asleep, you know, with 4 kids, and, like, we would sneak out, and the landlord would, like, call the cops, and the cops would bring us back. And they kept telling my mom, if you don't start making sure that they don't get out of the house, we're going to take them. And she's like, I work 2 full jobs, and I get no help. And, you know, there was just nobody helping her. And basically, we got out again, and they took us. So my mom tried for about 3.5 years to get us back. And then come to find out, the CPS worker on our case was the one that actually took custody of my 2 sisters and actually adopted them. So they were just playing my mom the whole time. The CPS worker that was supposed to be helping her get us back got my sisters, gained custody of them. So I also have 7 kids myself. So I got pregnant my first time when I was 14. I had a miscarriage. And then I got pregnant a couple months later by a guy that I met off the party line, and we didn't meet for 6 months. We met for the first time after 6 months, and then I wound up running away with him at 15, and I got pregnant. And he went to prison, caught his first couple felonies, robbing a house. So at that time, I was like, 4 or 5 months pregnant. I wound up having my daughter by myself, a single 16-year-old, trying to go to school and stuff. And it was just, it was hard. It was really hard. But I made it all the way into my junior year, and then I just couldn't do it. I needed more help because I wound up getting pregnant again about a year and a half later, 2 years later. And I had my second daughter, and that's when it really got hard. And by the time I was 18, I lost custody of my first daughter. And then I had my second daughter still with me, but then, like I said, another year and a half later, I got pregnant with my son. So it just became every 2 years I was having kids as well. So
How old are your kids now?
my oldest is 15 and my youngest is 4, and they're 2 years apart. So 4, 6, 8, 11, 13, and 15.
Do you ever see them?
My oldest daughter, yeah, she's at my mom's. She's a great kid. She doesn't want to do drugs. She's an honor roll student. She has a job at 15. She wants to help, people in general who have drug problems. She wants to. I couldn't ask for more, she's great. She's amazing.
So when you talk to her, what does she tell you?
That she doesn't judge me.
Does she knows about your situation?
Yeah, she's seen me go through a lot. I've never sugarcoated nothing from her, but I've always gave my kids the respect. I've never in front of them,
Yeah.
But family, that has been around, she's seen them on and do things.
Does she tell you to go try to get clean? Does she tell you to go try to get
She
clean?
tells me no matter what, Mom, I'm always gonna love you.
Okay.
And she tells me you can do anything that you put your mind to. Just like you told me when I was 8 years old, when I wanted to say I wanted to be a clothing designer, and you told me, Mom, you can do anything you put your mind to. So can you, And I'll never forget that. It's always cute when your kids mimic what you say to them a couple of years later, and you're like,
Yeah.
But she's great. She's a great kid.
That's good, man.
Really good.
Are you currently trying to get out of your situation?
I am. I really am. I'm trying to fix my vehicle. I have 2 vehicles right now. My brother's girlfriend blew my engine on my Dodge Charger at a 2014. I paid $7,000 for last year. She blew the engine on that. And then my Chrysler 300, my security mode, it's on security mode, theft mode or something. I don't know how to fix it, so I don't know any mechanics. I don't know anything. I don't know price range. I don't know. But currently trying to get a job at Scottsdale Resort as a housekeeper or a maid, one of the maids for the hotel. I'm licensed. I've been cleaning for about 13 years, so I'm really good on that. But pretty much those are my goals right now. Stability, job, and, just basically pull my head out of my ass. Like, I'm tired out here. I think the hardest part out here every day is honestly, like, the starving. Like, when you're hungry and, like, that, like, you ain't got no money, or if you're going to go to the store and steal something, or it sucks, because now they have security everywhere, and 9 out of 10 times it's hard for us to even get anything out of the store. And it's like the food bank is way down the road, way down the road. And it's just like there's no resources out here. Unlike Phoenix, There's nothing, there's no shelters, there's no,
So you guys need more resources out
a
here?
lot more. There's nothing out here. There's nothing.
No buses right here.
But for the most part, I'm the person out here that people like come to. So like when I do have food and stuff like that, I help everybody. I give everybody whatever, Like I'm one to always be like the one walking down the street, like, hey, put a smile on your face, like it's okay, like you're gonna be okay, like, or someone's laying on the ground because they're all out. I'll check on them, make sure they have water, like, And I think the hardest thing right now too for me is I just had a friend named Kai. 2 weeks ago, he was found dead in the dumpster over here by Circle K. He overdosed on a pill, and that was really like an eye opener for me because I think that's like the most fucked up way to die is inside of a dumpster by yourself, you know. And he just really like wanted somebody or somebody to acknowledge him, and nobody ever, you know. He was always talking about committing suicide, so I think it was more like he committed suicide, you know, at the same time. But it was just like, I kind of blame myself for it, because if I would have been there to give him like a little bit of words of encouragement, like, hey, don't do it, or hey, you know, maybe he would still be alive. But everyone tells me just don't blame yourself for that, Amanda. Like, you can't save the world. Like, so.
One person, girl, you can't save the world. I mean, you're only one person. You only can do so much than anybody ever.
Yeah.
You can't save it. It's not your fault.
Why do you think people out here are so fast to try the blues and all the substances that are out here?
Honestly, I have no idea. Like, I've never done blues in my life, ever. Like, since day one, I've been only smoking G, so I don't understand, like, what's so fun about the blues, like, fast-paced too.
Dying too, like our loved ones, it's still not enough for us to quit when our loved ones are dying.
But I see them struggling, like, I really do. I see the people out here who do the blues, like, you really see them go through some shit, like, they all day long chasing it, just so their bodies won't hurt or they don't withdraw. And it's really sad, like, it's really sad. It's heartbreaking, you know, just to see the look on some of their faces, like, you know. And there's nothing you can do when you're trying to talk to them and be there for them, but they're incoherent because their focus is only on one thing, you know. I think ultimately that's probably the hardest drug that's came out, I believe. I think it ultimately is going to be, if that doesn't get handled or, you know, took it under control, it's probably going to kill a lot more people than what.
How do you think we could stop the blue epidemic out here, though?
Which is probably resources, man. Just some kind, I don't know, like, yeah, like alternatives, maybe substances that don't necessarily have a withdrawal to them or side effects, and, you know, maybe somebody could get a pill to where, like, they could wing them off of it, you know, instead of just, like, you know, because it's a hard drug from what it seems, and people who don't do it are automatically going to assume that, oh, they can quit, they can go through the withdrawals, da-da-da-da. No, they can't, because really mentally and physically, like, you're not, and maybe there could be, like, you know.
It's not easy. I'm so happy you don't do that.
More clinics out here, maybe. Yeah, I think, honestly, more clinics out here, you know, more transportation offered to people so they can go to the clinics to get the medication that they need to help them wing themselves off of it, maybe. You know, like, there has to be some kind of balance in society, and there's not. It's just like everything's in Phoenix. Everybody out here, like, you still got half the world over here, and it's just like, makes sense?
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like, honestly, like, a lot of people towards this way, from like Peoria to Surprise, especially El Mirage, that town itself, like, we're forgotten. It's like, oh, like, we need help out here, so people could just, you know, maybe help somehow get some clinics out here, or get some resources out here, volunteers or whatever, to help the homeless out here. We'd be really appreciative of that.
Yeah,
For real.
Most definitely.
All right, well, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with me using this on my YouTube channel?
Yeah.
And just in case some of my subscribers want to reach out to you with any sort of help, do you have any social media where they can contact you?
Yeah. Do I just give it?
Yeah.
It's Amanda's Clothing Co. AMANDA CLOTHING CO @gmail.com.
All right, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.